We're all out here. We're together. We're going through these same things and experiences. And maybe you might not have went through that experience before. And if I can be a light or a guide and just be here to help any way that I can, I will. Because the dream work makes the team work. And I think I tell Kelsey that every week.
Yes, he does.
Welcome to Six Figure Trucker, the podcast where we share advice on how to be successful in trucking and have fun while doing so. We'll share stories, news, and advice on how to earn six figures in trucking, and we'll speak to guys and gals that are already doing so. Let's get to the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. This is a format where we elevate and celebrate the drivers that make our company what it is, and of course, make the industry what it is. And we've got a very special guest who's joining us now, Raphael Hempstead. And before Raphael gets rolling here, we've also got Kelsey Kemp is joining us here on the show with, she's going to interact with Raphael. So Raphael, great to see you. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Oh, I am doing so great, John. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. If I were doing any better, I'd have to sit on my hands to keep from clapping. How are you, Kelsey?
I'm doing all right today.
Now, actually, Raphael, just a little bit of background here. It was Kelsey who suggested you be on the show with us because she said you're such a good driver and a very interesting person. So I'll let you give your kudos to Kelsey.
Oh my gosh. Kelsey, honestly, that just means so much to me. I won't even lie to you. But I tell you, the day that I met you and you became my dispatcher, I was like, oh no, this is one of those things, right? You know, especially like when you've been at trucking companies and you meet your dispatcher for the first time, or you have to deal with them. It's kind of like one of those things like, oh no, like I'm really not ready for this. But it was the exact opposite. And I just fell in love with you as a dispatcher, honestly, and really as a person, because Kelsey's just really kind-hearted and warm. She's still stern, that's for sure. But you've just been a great light for me since I've joined with Norton a year ago.
Well, I appreciate you too, Raphael. You're one of my best drivers that I have. And you always listen. And I have to be stern, but not too much, because you do what you're supposed to, and you do what you're told. And you're a really good driver for us. So I really appreciate you as well.
Oh, thank you so much. So much. That means a lot to be spotlighted.
I can back up what Kelsey said, because there have been other drivers we have asked Kelsey to join in on the podcast with. And Raphael, for what it's worth, you're the only one she would do it.
Yeah, you're the only one that I would do the podcast with. That's what I told John.
Well, that's good. That makes me feel somewhat special.
Let's start right there about the relationship. We talk a lot about relationships between dispatchers and drivers, but now that we have both of you guys on the air, how would you describe it? Is it like a marriage? Is it brother, sister, friend to friend? How would you describe it, Raphael?
You know what, John? I would like to say that it's a little bit of everything. When you explain the marriage, I could say that it's like that aspect. The only thing is we're not nagging at each other.
Very true. We don't. It's my friend relationship, but it can be like I'm his work wife as well.
How would you describe it, Kelsey?
It's really personal. Me and him have personal conversations. We also have work conversations, but he's really easy to get along with, and he's really easy to work with, and he also listens very well, but he also gives me like tips and stuff that I can call him and ask him a tip for one of my other drivers, and he can usually help me out.
Talk about that, Raphael, the network, not only between you and Kelsey, but you and other drivers, and how dispatch all kind of brings it all together.
I have a phenomenal network of drivers that I associate myself with, John. All of them have just been a lovely light to this segment of my career rendition, I like to call it. We just all get along. We you know what? I find that because I like to make money and I like to work hard, I usually attract those other people who like to make money and work hard as well. And then just the whole combination relationship thing between us and the dispatchers, I honestly think that there's just something that's held special between us sometimes. And like Kelsey had said, you know, when you're a driver who proceeds with all the right safety measures, and who's just safe and always courteous and just real responsible and respectful and professional of all things, it just makes the relationship even better because there's so many steps that you get to take out of that whole, what would it be like, management thing to staff thing. Because when you have drivers who can come together as a community and help and respect each other, right? Essentially, your job is kind of done as a dispatcher. Your job is done as anyone who works in any of the offices at Norton, correct? Or like any other company. And I just feel that's all fundamental to bringing those relationships together and for them to become like the bond that me and Kelsey have found.
The relationships with drivers help a lot because if you're stuck somewhere, and you can call another driver and help you out. Raphael's actually running with another one of our drivers right now, and he's helping him because he's newer to our company. And he's actually going to pick up another truck with Raphael on Monday. That's his first CNG truck, and Raphael's going to help him, like, teach him the ropes and show him how to find stations and all that stuff. And he kind of just ran into him, but now they're running together. And the same driver that he's running with actually saved one of my drivers up in Pennsylvania because he was stranded for like 7 hours. And he came and picked him up and took him to the next pickup location because I couldn't get him out. So it kind of helps a lot having relationships with your dispatchers and with your drivers because it makes it just easier, the job easier and travel easier. And sometimes it helps you on the loads as well.
It's like pieces of a puzzle coming together.
Oh, most definitely. And I'll tell you, John, I could not ask for anything any better or different or to change the situation. There's been times that some of the guys over there at the office would call me and be like, Raphael, like you applied for this other job. You're not leaving, are you? And I have to tell them like, no, I'm not leaving. But honestly, John and Kelsey, Norton has my heart, and it will forever have my heart. It's a company that I take up for online, and in various different instances because, you know, a job is what you make it, right? A career is what you make it, and a company is what you make it. And not everyone is going to have those same experiences at all. And for me, it's just really been a big, like a good experience. Everything positive has happened for me since I've come to Norton, and I honestly would never change it.
Gotcha. Well, Raphael, I wanted to ask you this. I mean, Kelsey had mentioned before we got on the air here that you were a hard worker and that you really like to run. So where are you now? And I know you're headed west at this moment. Are you down for the night?
I'm not down for the night, John. I got a couple of more hours left in me. We'll end up in Tucumcari. I can never say that name right, New Mexico, but everyone knows that town. Little small desert town. And when you get into New Mexico, coming from Texas, but right now I'm in a little town called Harold, Texas, right off of the 287 going northwest bound.
Talk about what Kelsey was mentioning about the kind of the hard work ethic that you have. Where did that come from?
Well, John, we're going to open up a candle right about now, or shall I say light one up. Not in a bad way, but hard work ethic. I'm going to tell you this. I'm 30 years old now. I'm not old. I'm not young, but I'm still kind of young. And I was raised by my grandmother, okay? Being raised by my grandmother, and at the time when I was 8 years old, she was in her 60s, 70s. Literally, that woman went to work day in and day out because she had to make sure her baby, which was me, had everything that he needed and could have wanted. And just watching her go to work 6-7 days a week was a really big thing for me. And I felt like that set me up in life to be better or to be great. And not even just my grandmother, John. I mean, watching my dad go work at a steel mill every single day to make sure he can put me through daycare and school and things of that nature. It just really taught me that, okay, I want to be like that. I want to work. I want to be able to afford things in life. I want to be able to live a good life. And you get what you put in, right?
Now, those experiences that you came up with, does that kind of factor over or blend over, we should say, into helping others? Like Kelsey was laying out that story, how you're helping the new driver, showing him the ropes?
Honestly, yes, it does. I come from a family where no matter what we have or don't have, we're always going to help someone, even if we're less fortunate at that time. Because when you go, I'm not going to gather too much into religion, but when you just think about how religious my family is, we just think that what you put in is what you get back, right? So yeah, that definitely segues into the whole part about helping other drivers. I mean, because who else is going to do it? We're all out here, we're together, we're going through these same things and experiences. And maybe you might not have went through that experience before. And if I can be a light or a guide and just be here to help any way that I can, I will. Because the dream work makes the teamwork. And I think I tell Kelsey that every week.
Yes, he does. Every week. And he's very good about helping anybody out if he can. I try and help him as much as I can. And sometimes he even helps me as a dispatcher. I've learned new things from him every week.
What are some examples that you've learned from him throughout the weeks?
He tells me all about his CNG stations. He's really thorough in it. He has multiple apps that he uses. He even has he keeps his computer with him, and he'll spreadsheet everything out before he even starts the run. He also gives me tips about little gas stations in the middle of nowhere where you can get cheaper gas, or he also uses he uses a I think it's Frontier, if I'm right, Raphael. And he gathers points and he can get cheap flights. He tells me about that, or he'll sign up for different gas stations points and he gets cheaper gas that way. He gives me tips about that for certain drivers, or he'll tell me, hey, there's a station and it's not working anymore. You might want to tell any drivers that are going my way. And he kind of helps me that every week. There's other options. I can't really think of any more right now, but he teaches me something every week, every time we talk.
That's too cool, Raphael. We appreciate you sharing that wealth of knowledge. And like Kelsey was laying out there, it certainly makes a difference, saving a penny, a nickel, a dime, a quarter everywhere you can.
It does, John. And honestly, every day you might see people go out there and they'll just pass up a driver, or they'll just ignore a driver. And then that driver just gets to the point where they feel like they're not heard or seen. And I know our dispatchers at Norton do such a beautiful job at doing whatever they can to take care of us. And sometimes I know that they're really busy. So I tell drivers, if your dispatcher busy, just reach out to me. It's okay. The communication is going to be good throughout, because I'll even communicate back to Kelsey. She'll communicate back to their teams and, and things of that nature, just in case that person couldn't get to the phone to get back to them in time. And everything just works out. It's just beautiful. It goes back to that thing that we were talking about, having a community. This is not a driverless community. And even for the people in office, it's not a driverless community. It's a driven community.
You're listening to the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. We got Raphael Hempstead on the line with us, and his dispatcher, Kelsey Camp, was kind enough to sit in with us after hours, taking a little time out of herself. That's how much Raphael means to her. And we were talking about the relationship between dispatcher and driver and drivers to driver. What about person to person, Kelsey?
Person to person, I've met him 3 or 4 times. Every time he comes in the office, he's always nice. He's always presentable. He always shows off Norton as well. He tries to wear Norton gear every time he goes anywhere. And just people to people, Raphael would be a friend to me out in the real world. If I met him, he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I think he makes this job, it shows this job is even better, and it shows that great people we find everywhere.
Right.
And it brings everybody together. Even at a job, it brings you friends, and you find people all over the world.
Raphael, what was it like for you dropping into the office 3-4 times?
Oh, man, it's a lovely experience. I get a little jealous. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I want to be like, Kelsey, save me a plate for next week or 2 weeks from now, if that could be even possible, because food goes bad. But at the office, it's the community, it's the openness, and just the vibe that they have going there. There's not one time I've went to the office and I've been upset. Even when I first started and I had went to the office because I had kind of did something wrong, but it wasn't a bad thing that I did it wrong. It was a learning experience because I had to kind of like translate, I had to like reposition my thinking in the way that I did logs from when I went from freight trucking now to drive-away trucking. And even during that time, when it was audit that I had went through, it was still pleasant. I wasn't upset or angry about anything. Everyone in the office is just so pleasant. I love going to the office. Every time I get the chance to stop through Chattanooga or somewhere in the area of Georgia, I will stop through Ringgold and come into the office and say hi.
I know we're glad to see you, and I'm sure Kelsey is too. And she was sharing some things with me about you, and we're going to get into that. Because we understand you're a very interesting guy, and we've just been talking to Raphael, the truck driver, the one of 6 children, a great guy all the way around, friend to all, one who will lend a hand to another driver. We've heard a lot about that, but wait until next week and what you hear about Raphael. But before we close up this week, I want to leave it open to Kelsey and Raphael. You've said a lot about each other, what you mean to each other. How do you see the future between the two of you?
The future is all up from here. Me and Raphael are on the road, and we're going to do as much as we can and get him as much and the most success we can. We're a team, and we only have up from here. There's no going down. Right, Raphael?
Right. That's true. I cannot disagree with you ever on those statement fragments. Literally, it's a combination that worked. I know a lot of combinations don't work between driver and dispatcher, but that's why you just keep changing and you figure out, and you get to the person that you actually should be with. But it's been good since day one. It's solid now. Great communication, and I think it's just it's a duo that'll never stop.
Raphael Hempstead, thank you so much for joining us in week 1 on the podcast. And speaking of podcasts, a little birdie told me you know a few things about podcasts.
Yes, so
we'll get into that in week 2. So Raphael, thank you so much for joining us, and be careful on the rest of your journey out to New Mexico this evening, and we'll catch up with you for week 2.
All right, John. It was so just thank you so much for having me this time.
Six Figure Trucker is brought to you by Norton Transport. Norton Transport is a drive-away trucking company that customers can rely on. It offers excellent independent contract driving opportunities to professional, courteous, and qualified drivers that can provide the kind of service we deliver. If you're interested in learning more about Norton or just want to subscribe to the show, check out 6-figuretrucker.com. That's 6-figuretrucker.com.